council member, if there's a woman on here who would like to run for office, what should they consider? What advice do you have for her?
Ask yourselves a few questions. Can you do it? I mean, literally, can you do it? And that's a matter of logistics mostly. Because when you decide to run for office, it's not just you. Your kids are running for office, your husband, your partner, your family, your friends. I went on a vacation with some friends and I had to refrain from taking photographs because my friends were having a very good time. And that's not something that I could participate in for obvious reasons. And so those are the kinds of things that you have to think about now. So can you do it? Why do you want to do it? And this is a really important one. What's your motivation? If it's to get famous, if it's to get rich, I can assure you this is not the place for you to go to do that. Find another path. Why do you want to do it? And if your why and your desire to accomplish the why really motivates you and fuels you and propels you forward, then that's good. If your why is, sort of marginally solid, I would say keep thinking about it. What do you hope to accomplish? I think a part of that consideration is recognizing that your term is finite, your time is finite. You're going to be inundated with 1,000 things all at once. And so you really have to zero in on a few solid goals and have that be okay, sort of coming in extremely optimistic and idealistic as I was. I had 100 things I wanted to accomplish. And by the end of year one, I knew that I might, if I was lucky, accomplish 5. So what do you hope to accomplish? And are you comfortable with scaling that back? Because ultimately you will have to. And then what are you willing to give up? And what would be a deal breaker if you had to give it up? Are you willing to have people call you nasty names on Twitter and post unflattering photos of you and talk, body shame you? And are you willing to have to sacrifice some privacy? Are you willing to have to do things differently? Are you willing to, what is it that you just would not give up that you might have to give up in order to do the job? If there are things that you are not willing to give up, you really need to be realistic about thinking through that. And so I would say advice. Surround yourself with people who have done this before. Ask all the questions. Don't be prideful about asking questions. Ask questions, ask questions. Don't assume that you know the ropes. You're a political insider, you're politically savvy, you're very involved. You think you know the ropes, but you haven't seen the wizard behind the curtain yet. So I can assure you, you need to ask questions. You need to ask them of people who've been here before, who've seen behind the curtain. I would say, if you can, secure your finances. It's certainly not an option for everybody. And that actually uncovers some of the problems with politics, right? It's by design, not intended for everybody. Generally speaking, if you're not independently wealthy, if you don't have some degree of financial runway, this job is not for you. If for no other reason, it doesn't pay well. You're not going to get rich, and especially municipal politics. But there's some state level jobs and other, sort of county level and trustee positions that don't pay at all. If you are able to secure your finances, that's a big one. That's one that I wasn't anticipating. Even when you're running, the year that I ran, I didn't work. That was unexpected. What else? If you're like me, a supreme optimist, and you really see the good in all people, I'm going to need you to take that little gem and tuck it away in your special spot and keep it there because, you have to protect it at all cost. You have to fortify your heart and your mind and frankly, your skin. You got to grow thick skin and don't take things personally because honestly, it's not about you. There are a lot of people who are feeling some void and they've decided to fill their bucket out of yours. And so it's not about you. Don't take it personally, is the advice. But when you do take it personally, because you're human and you will, just thicken that skin and realize it's actually not about you. Oh, remember that you are playing the game for your constituents, not for yourself. Check your ego. It's not about you, it's about the people you serve. And that's of the utmost importance. And I think if I were to leave you with a few more little nuggets, trust is an illusion. And friendship is an illusion. In politics, friendship is an illusion. Remember the difference between a colleague that you're friendly with and your actual friends. There's definitely a difference. And this is where, having those circles that you trust comes into play, because you really just have to be careful about what you do, what you say, and who you do and say it to. Lastly, I'd say research the role that you want. Don't jump in willy-nilly. Research the role, check out what your predecessor did, check out past action that happened in your role. Think about what you want to accomplish before your time is up. Focus on new goals that you can accomplish, and recognize that your time, like I said before, is finite. If you can't shepherd that thing to the finish line, I'd say don't even start it. Start something that you can either see to the finish, or you can leave in a way that your successor can pick it up and run with it. And I think more or less that's what I have to offer.